Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be explaining you all the different types of chemical reactions with proper experiment. So, without wasting any time, let's start with the first type of chemical reaction. Okay, now let's see the first type of chemical reaction, which is combination reaction. So, as the name itself says, two or more molecules, when combined together, they give out a new chemically new substance, and that is nothing but combination reaction. Now, the generalized equation of this type of reaction is given in the reading. So, A plus B combined together to give out C. So one of the real life examples for these type of reactions are magnesium combining with oxygen to give out magnesium oxide. So let me perform this particular reaction. So guys, in combination reaction, the magnesium is going to react with the oxygen present in the air to produce magnesium oxide. So let's do the reaction. So I'm gonna light this up. So please don't try this at home. All these experiments are a bit dangerous. So yeah, as soon as you see, it starts burning very brightly. So it is taking up the oxygen from the air, and it's producing magnesium oxide. So magnesium reacts with oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. So it's very bright. So the ash which was left over is nothing but magnesium oxide. So this was the example of combination reaction. So the second type of chemical reaction is decomposition reaction. In this type of reactions, molecules break down into two or more substances. It's just dead opposite of the first type of reaction, which is combination reaction. So here, molecule will break down from its original form into two or more new substances. So the best example for this reaction is when you heat KMnO4, it decomposes into K2MnO4 plus MnO4 plus O2. So in the decomposition reaction, as I told you, the KMnO4 which I have taken here, it's there inside the test tube. Now when I heat this KMnO4, it's going to decompose into its respective products, and one of the product is oxygen. So I'll check the presence of oxygen by lighting this stick inside the test tube. So let's start with the reaction. So as the reaction progresses, you can see cracking sound being heard now. The reaction is going on. Now combustion requires oxygen. So the one of the product of this chemical reaction is oxygen. So as soon as I place the stick inside, it's going to burn very brightly. You just see right now. So I can check the presence of oxygen by putting this stick inside the test tube. So yeah, this was the second experiment. So let's see the third type of chemical reaction, single displacement reaction. So in this type of reaction, one element gets substituted for the another element. So the generalized equation is, so A plus BC gives you AC plus B. So what is basically happening is these two are going to combine together in the next product side. So these two combine, and this one gets out as in the form of product. Now the best example for this is reaction of aluminum with HCl. So aluminum and chlorine combines to give out aluminum chloride, and the hydrogen gas comes out. So this is single displacement reaction. Why displacement? Because the one of the element is getting displaced out. That's why it is called single displacement reaction. So let me show you the experiment. So the third type of chemical reaction is single displacement reaction. So in which we're supposed to add aluminum with hydrochloric acid. Now this hydrochloric acid is extremely corrosive. That's why I told you don't try this at home. And this is like super corrosive, 33 molar. I don't know, it's very corrosive, very concentrated one. Don't ask me how I got it. So yeah, let's add aluminum and hydrochloric acid, and let's see how the reaction goes. So please don't try this at home. It's very dangerous. So yeah, I've taken the hydrochloric acid. You can see the fumes coming out. So it's not reacting. Yeah, it started reacting. You can see the black thing forming there. On the corner of the test tube, you can see a black kind of thing forming there. Now that thing is nothing but aluminum chloride. So, and the gas which is being produced here is hydrogen gas. So let me add some more. So yeah, this is the reaction of single displacement reaction. So the fourth type of chemical reaction is double displacement reaction. So the reaction in which two chemical substances exchange ions to produce new molecules. Now the definition might be a bit confusing, so let me explain to the example. you're going to get a thorough clarity from this. So the general form of these type of chemical reaction is AB combines with CD to produce AC plus BD. So basically what happens, A and C combines and B and D combines. So A and C combines to give AC and B and D combines to give BD. So this, let me explain you through this real life example. So sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give sodium chloride plus water. So this produces ions. As soon as I dissolve sodium hydroxide, it's going to produce ion in the form of Na plus and OH minus. So this is also going to produce some ions. So plus H plus Cl minus. Now what are going to combine? Na and Cl is going to combine because the opposite charges and they have most affinity. So Na plus and Cl minus combines together to form NaCl, which is this in its form. Next one, OH and H combines. So hydroxide ion and proton combines to give out water. That's why I wrote H dash OH. I didn't directly write as H2O to make you guys understand properly. So this H plus OH minus, this is basically hydrogen water is what is your final product is. So what's basically happening is the exchange of ions are taking place. So this ion is going to exchange with this ion and this ion is going to exchange with this ion. So since there is two displacement, which means two ions are interchanging with each other, that's why we call it as double displacement reaction. So it's basically not much complicated, just exchanging of ion to produce two new molecules. So let me show you through the chemical reaction. So yeah, in the fourth reaction, which is double displacement reaction, so we're supposed to do the reaction of sodium hydroxide. So this is sodium hydroxide and reaction of hydrochloric acid. Now this is sodium hydroxide on the left side and this is hydrochloric acid. Now these two are extremely concentrated, as I told you before. This is like I think 14 molars and this is I think 33 molars. How do I get hands on all these all these chemicals? I'm crazy. Anyways, let's do the reaction. So this is sodium hydroxide. I'm going to take a small amount of hydrochloric acid inside this pipette and I'm going to add into this test tube. There isn't much reaction though. There isn't much reaction, but there is neutralization happening there, and there is exchanging of ion is taking place. So this is double displacement reaction. Okay, now let's see the fifth type of chemical reaction, which is precipitation reaction. Now this is not normally mentioned in the books, but still it's important. Now, reaction in which two or more reactants reacts to give insoluble salt. Now this insoluble salt is something but precipitate. You're going to understand as soon as I do the chemical reaction, so hang out till the end. So the general chemical reaction of this might not be this, but still for a rough use, I'm going to you can still use this. So A reacts with BC to give AC and B. Now AC is nothing but the precipitate form. Now the example for this type of reaction which I'm going to do is when sodium reacts with methanol. So sodium is going to react with methanol. So you're going to form sodium methoxide. So CH3ONA, and you're going to produce hydrogen gas. So as soon as the reaction progresses, you can see a formation of white solid deposit which is insoluble in the liquid, forming inside the test tube. Now this insoluble solid is nothing but the precipitate. Let me show you through the reaction. So the next type of chemical reaction is precipitation reaction. So the chemical reaction I told you was when you add sodium. I have taken a small chunk of sodium here. When you add sodium to methanol, it's going to produce precipitate, which is sodium methoxide, and some amount of hydrogen gas. So let's see the reaction. So I'm going to add the sodium inside the test tube. So yeah, as soon as I added the sodium, you can see a lot of bubbles being performed, and the test tube is being heated a little bit. So as you can see, the reaction progresses. You can see a white foggy substance being formed. Now this white foggy substance is nothing but the precipitate. In this case, the precipitate is sodium methoxide. So yeah, this is the precipitation reaction in which formation of precipitate takes place. So the sixth type of chemical reaction is combustion reaction. You guys probably know this reaction, but still I'm going to teach you in the systematic manner. So reaction in which a substance reacts with oxygen, releasing energy in the form of heat and light. So typically if you see anything which combusts, it releases a lot of energy in the form of heat and light. Now the generalized equation of this type of reaction is hydrocarbons reacts with oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water. Now why did I take hydrocarbons here? So most of the combustion reaction which occurs in everyday life involves hydrocarbon. That's why I wrote hydrocarbons in the generalized reaction. So when hydrocarbons reacts with oxygen, it's going to produce CO2 plus H2O. So this is the general equation. Now the example for this type of reaction is, so when methanol reacts with oxygen, it is going to produce some carbon dioxide and water. Let me show you through the example. So the next type of chemical reaction is combustion reaction. So in this spray bottle, I have methanol I have taken, and I'm going to spray into the flame here. So yeah, when any hydrocarbon reacts with oxygen, it produces water and carbon dioxide. So yeah, this is so this is combustion reaction. Why is this so cool? Oh my god. So the seventh type of chemical reaction is acid-base reaction, also known as neutralization reaction. So reaction in which acid and base reacts to give salt and water is called neutralization reaction. Why neutralization? Because they both combine and kind of neutralize the acidic and basic property. So that's why it is called neutralization reaction. Now the general equation of this kind of reaction is acid plus base reacts to give salt and water. Now the best example for this type of reaction is given here. So hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide to give sodium chloride and water. I have already done this reaction previously. So the last type of chemical reaction is redox reaction. So reaction in which transfer of electrons takes place, or reaction in which oxidation and reduction both takes place. Now this might be a bit confusing, so let us understand to the example. So the generalized equation might not be this, but this is the closest generalized equation. So it might vary from reaction to reaction. So one substance gets oxidized and the other substance get reduced. So since both of them is happening, that's why it is called oxidation and reduction. So in general, they have taken RED from reduction and OX from oxidation and made it as redox. So that's why it's called redox reaction. Or you can think it as transfer of electrons. Why transfer of electrons? Let me tell you through this particular example. So iron gives away the electrons to the oxygen. Now, as you know, giving away of electrons is nothing but oxidation. So if electron gives away, it is nothing but oxidation. And if something takes electrons, in this case it is oxygen, it is taking electrons from iron, this is nothing but reduction. So since both oxidation as well as reduction is taking place, that's why it is called redox reaction. Now this equation is the equation of rust. So you might have seen this in iron bars. When it gets exposed to moisture or air, it starts forming rust. Now the reddish brown color which you see is nothing but iron oxide, which is nothing but rust. So the last type of chemical reaction is redox reaction. So the example which I gave was rusting of iron, but the rusting of iron is a little bit slow process. It takes a long time to rust. So you can see the brownish substance being formed on this metallic like iron. Now this reddish brown substance is nothing but iron oxide or Fe2O3. Now this is rust. Now this happens because when iron gets exposed to atmosphere over a long period of time, so it gets corroded and rust is being formed. And this is an example of redox reaction where both oxidation as well as reduction both takes place. So these were the only types of chemical reactions which you need to be knowing before going to solve any type of chemistry problems or involving in any kind of chemical reactions. So that was the end of the video. If you learned something new, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bar so that you don't miss out any new updating videos. So whatever topic you want me to teach, let me know in the comments. So I meet you in the next video. Thank you for watching.